Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So in this video, I want to show you one scenario and we will try to solve this scenario. So here I will read this code. Yeah. So for example, let's say that I am searching for any data here. So we got this data. Now if I click on this one, so we are able to see the details of this one. Now when I click on this save or when I click on this add to list, so I am clicking on this add to list. Now this list has been added to the read list. So here I will be selecting another also. So I have added it to the list. Now if you try to see, there are two books that are in the read list. Now if I try to refresh this page, so what will happen? So we are not able to see this data. So what we need to do is, in this video, we need to persist this data. So how we can persist this data? Even if I refresh this page also, I want to show the books that are in the read list. So how we can do this one is, so by using the local storage. So right now we don't have any local storage. So let's try to implement the local storage by saving all the books details in the read list. So for example, let's say that, let's try to see this code. So where can we do this one? So storing of the data in the read list, where can we do this one? Using the local storage. So this is the handle book read. So this is the place where if you try to click the book, for example, let's say that if you try to click on this book, so here if you try to see add to list, if you click on this button, so this is the method which it is trying to get executed. So here we are trying to add the books into the books read data. So in this variable we are trying to add it. So this is the place where we can initialize the local storage and we can save the data. Okay, let's try to write it here. So local storage dot set item. Okay, and here I will use the read list. So here we need to save the data. We know that this set books read data use state is an asynchronous one. So we cannot use the books read data directly, and here we need to save it like this only. So in the same scenario we need to use it. So that means we need to use books read data, okay, comma, and we need to use the book. So that should be something like json.stringify. Why? Because so the just local storage data doesn't take the array of object, array or anything. It will take only the string data. So that is the reason we have a method available in the JavaScript. So that is the reason we need to use the json.stringify. So here we can use it like this, local storage.set item. Now let's try to see this one. So here if you try to see in this one, so I will be clicking on this one here and I will click on this add to list. If I click on this add to list, automatically here at the bottom you will be able to see in the local storage. So the read list has been added. What is this console error? Nothing is there. So if you go to the application and nothing is there. If you go to the application and here a local storage item has been added. Now for example, let's say that I will take another one. I will select some star and I will click on this add to list. So here we are able to add the data into the local storage. Fine. Now I want to delete this data. So here I am deleting this data. So this time it is not getting deleted. So we need to implement this delete functionality also. The local storage data, we need to delete the item in the local storage also when you are trying to delete in the read list. Okay, let's go here. And if you try to see here, this is the delete read book. So which we are trying to delete the data. So here also we need to add the local storage. Local storage dot set item. Okay. And here read list. So we will be using the same read list. And here we will be using json.stringify. So the same item we will use json.stringify. So what is that one we need to use? So here what is that we need to use? That is nothing but the books data. So here we are filtering out that one, right? So we are converting it into the string and we are using the books data. So done. Now let's go into this one and here I will try to add again another one. So here if you try to see add to list. Now here if I delete this data, if you click on this one, so it is getting deleted, and if I delete this one also, it is getting deleted. So successfully we are able to see that the items are get deleted. So here if you try to see the add to list and here add delete is there. But there is one problem with the code which we are trying to write it. Why? Because so here in the two times we are writing this local storage, we are duplicating the code. And also another thing what you need to do is, so if there is another place where there is a code that adding a book read data, then what we need to do again, we need to implement this local storage in that one. So this is not the correct scenario. So what we can do is, so we can make use of the React hooks, that is nothing but useEffect, to store the read list into the local storage. So how we can do it? So when we need to store the when we need to store the books read data into the local storage, whenever the books read data, the variable has been changed. So we know that useEffect, we can use this variable, and we can, whenever this books read data is changing, we can invoke that useEffect thing. So how we can write that one? So that is nothing but useEffect of. So here this is the function which we need to write the code, and here at the second parameter will be an array, and here you can write the books read data. So whenever this is getting changed, so this useEffect needs to be executed. So what can I do here? So here I can copy this one and I can paste it here, and I can remove this one, and I can also remove this one. Okay, and here I will be using the books read data. That's it. So now whenever this books read data is changed, whether it is added or removed or anything, then immediately this useEffect will be executed. So now let's try to see the output for this one. If I refresh this page, okay, and I will try to search for the JavaScript, anything, and here I will click on this one. So here I will select the data, and if I click on this add to list, see at the bottom automatically the data is getting added. Now if I try to add this again, JavaScript and jQuery, so it is getting added into the local storage. Now if I try to remove this one, so what will happen? See, the data has been removed. So this all is done through the useEffect only. So this useEffect only it is possible. So now this is possible only through the useEffect thing. Now here everything is working fine. Now if I try to refresh this page, so for example, let's say that, oh sorry, I forgot. So JavaScript I will add it here, and I will try to save this one, add to list, and here also I will try to save this one, add to list. So now whenever I refresh this page, so now here it is getting an empty array. Why? Because at the first time when you try to see, when we are trying to refresh this page, the books read data is having an empty one. So the useState variable is initialized with an empty array. So that is the reason immediately the useEffect also will be executed on the mounted, and also whenever the books read data variable is changed. So that is the reason. So now what we need to do is, so here we are using this books read data, right? At the time of this one books read data, when we are initializing it to empty array, so we need to search that whether the local storage data is existing or not. If it is existing, mean we need to initialize the state variable using the local storage. So okay, fine. Let's go into here, and here, so how we can do it? So in here in this use state, so you need to understand that not only providing a single value, we can also add the function. So that is nothing but a pure function we need to add it. We can also have a function here which is a pure function. So this should be a pure function. So this should not take any parameters, and here I can write that constant books is equal to local storage dot get item of read list, and here we will be getting all the read list, and we need to return the books here. So this books will be in the string, and this takes the array of objects, so we need to convert it into an array of object. So we have a method available json.parse, and I can use this one to convert it into an array of object. That's it. Now if you try to see the output for this one, so if I try to see the output for this one, so JavaScript, here I can do here add to list, yeah, fine, and here I can do here add to list, and this one is also fine. If I refresh this page, now so here the data is existing like this only, and we are able to see this output. So now we are able to implement the successfully persisting the read list data. So you may be getting doubt that why we need to use the use state here. I can also use something like constant books like this at the outside, and I can use the set books read data of books, right? So you can have a doubt like this instead of using it like this. So I will make this one as an array, and I can use it like this, right? So what is the change in this one? So you can implement this one also, it's not a problem. Then also you can be able to see this output. But here, so here React limits the number of renders to prevent an infinite loop. Why? Because, so I already told you that use state, okay, so use state, this initial value will be executed only in the initial render, okay, and this one set books read data, so this one will be executed every time the component is getting re-rendered. So that is the reason we should not use this one like this. So whenever we are trying to execute this local, whenever the component is re-rendered, again these two lines will be getting executed all the time. So here this use state, I already told you, right, the initial value will be executed only on the initial render, when the component re-renders, this initial value, state value will not be reinitialized. So that is one thing which you need to understand. So this is the main thing which you need to understand. So that's it guys. So we have implemented the we have implemented the persistence of this in the local storage of the read list data. Hope you understood about this one. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this data, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.